Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Real China. Now last week we took a look at Mr. Andy Lau from Hong Kong, so this week I thought we'd take a look at a lady. A beautiful lady, in fact. Check her out. Now, for those of you who want to know, and I'm pretty sure that's most of you, that was Miss Zhou Shun. She happens to be one of the so-called 4 Dan actresses in China. The others are Mulan star Zhao Wei, Go La La Go actress Xu Jinglei, and perhaps China's biggest star in Hollywood, Zhang Ziyi. Now, of the 4 Dan actresses, 3 of them don't have boyfriends. They're not married, so good luck there. 3 Dans on the market. But enough about that. Before Kei-Jin comes to the cafe to talk about some Zhou Shun scandals, we're actually going to take a look at 3 of her movies. So, let's check them out.
If you were to ask me what I associate with the great sage Confucius, you might expect me to toss around terms like wisdom and philosophy. Well, that's not what appears in my mind, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing I think of, or rather the first person, is a super hot imperial concubine called Nanza, who nearly made the giant 4-headed wanderer pop his top. I don't know if the wise one really did have to fight off the ample charms of a slutty consort, but such a scene features in Hu Mei's 2010 biopic Confucius, so it must be true, right? Nanza, you guessed it, is played by Zhou Shun. She bumps into Chow Yun-fat's Confucius in the second half of the movie, during his 14 years of wandering. How a long-bearded, giant 4-headed philosopher with no proper job and not a penny to his name attracted a girl like that, I'll never know. Even before the movie came out, many Chinese criticized the casting of Chow Yun-fat, who's a native speaker of Cantonese rather than Mandarin. Others, who knew Chow from his bloody Hong Kong action epics, were worried he would turn the character into a kung fu hero. Bad news kept on coming in December 2009, when a chap named Kong Jian, claiming to be a direct descendant of Confucius himself, blasted the trailer for hinting at the philosopher's attraction to Nanza. All I have to say to that is, what? No guy in his right mind, no straight guy at least, could look at Zhou Shun and not think, ring-a-ding-ding. Zhou Shun hasn't just worked on regular historical dramas though. In 2006, she turned her hand to Shakespearean kung fu. You heard me right. The Banquet, known as Legend of the Black Scorpion for its US DVD release, transfers the story of Hamlet to 10th century China, then adds some hardcore kicking, punching and chopping into the mix. Daniel Wu, one of Kei-Jin's favorites, plays the Hamlet character and fiancé of Zhou Shun, who finds out that his uncle murdered his father to usurp the throne. I hate it when that happens. All the murder and intrigue is no surprise, however, given that the movie is set during China's 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period, which, as you can imagine, was a rather volatile time. Following the success of historical kung fu epics from Asian directors such as Ang Lee and Zhang Yimou, The Banquet was Feng Xiaogung's attempt to jump on the bandwagon. Before this, Feng was best known for witty comedies. Well, there isn't much wit to be found in this bloody extravaganza of lust and betrayal. Perhaps that's why Feng quickly returned to his comfort zone after this, with mega-successful rom-com, If You Are the One. In fact, The Banquet was chosen as Hong Kong's entry for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, while China's entry was Zhang Yimou's Curse of the Golden Flower. Alas, neither movie picked up the award. That year's winner ended up being Germany's entry, The Counterfeiters. Surprising, I know, that the Germans actually won something for once. Finally, on our Zhou Shun movie mini-marathon is Painted Skin. This supernatural historical romance from Fist of Legend director Gordon Chan brings together a whole host of Chinese megastars. Donnie Yen, Zhao Wei, Chen Kun, Sun Li. Think of the budget. The story revolves around a love triangle between Zhou Shun's fox spirit, the general who saves her from a band of ruffians, and the general's sour-faced wife. The wife's sourness isn't a surprise. Of course your wife's going to be jealous if you bring home a girl who resembles Zhou Shun. If I was the general, I'd keep my fox spirit in a shed in the garden, or at least in a very large cupboard, so my wife never found out. For those of you who don't know, a fox spirit feasts on human hearts to maintain a lovely youthful appearance. So I guess in this movie, Zhou Shun, who's already over 2,000 years old, has already wiped out half the population of China for dinner. The film was successful at the box office and brought some critical acclaim too, with Zhou Shun nominated for Best Actress at the 28th Hong Kong Film Awards. I fear there might have been some tension, however, when Zhao Wei actually picked up the prize for Best Actress at the 16th Spring Swallow Awards. Perhaps I'm making too much of this. After all, I've never heard of the Spring Swallow Awards, so maybe Zhou Shun just didn't care. All the actors from the original have recently finished shooting a sequel, cleverly entitled Painted Skin 2. I've heard a rumor that things didn't always go smoothly on set. Let's find out if Keijin has any juicy details for us.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Bored.
Bored? Excuse me, we just started working. Anyway.
Oh, have we? Anyway, you have some stories about your role model, Zhou Shun, today, don't you?
Model.
Is she your role model?
I guess so, but you know, I'm not going to be an actress. But she is my favorite actress.
Okay, you could look like her.
Anyway, yeah.
Plastic surgery.
But that's
Anyway, doesn't matter. Cheap.
rude.
So
Anyway.
what scandals have you got from the life of Zhou Shun?
Scandals, I wouldn't say, just petty.
No
media
sex
stories.
videos or anything?
No, just petty
Tedious.
stories that, you know, publicity.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with Painted Skin 2. Now, you know Painted Skin 1 was, you know,
Yeah.
a big hit last
Oh,
year.
yes, I remember.
And I have to say the second film hasn't been receiving a lot of media coverage.
No.
So recently they said Zhou Shun and the other star and her co-star Zhao Wei, they've been fighting over their chairs.
You said Zhou Wei. That sounds like a man.
Zhao Wei,
I
that's
know.
what I said anyway. Fighting over chairs, you know how they get their own like private chairs.
We do that in the office.
No, we don't.
Oh, no, we
In
don't.
your
All right,
dream.
yeah.
Anyway, so isn't that petty? I mean,
Petty.
right?
Fighting over a chair.
I know.
Disgusting.
I don't even think it's true.
Do you think it was made up in order to basically
I mean,
get
they
some
even
publicity
they
for
even
the
drew
film?
cartoon pictures of what happened. See, like, oh, that's just, I can't believe it.
It's not even news.
And then they magnify it into, you know, oh, maybe they're fighting because they get paid different.
Well, who do you think gets paid more?
Oh, it's difficult to say. Zhou Shun is a bigger star, I think. But then.
I think the bigger star gets paid more. That's
Yeah.
why my salary is bigger than yours. But anyway,
Oh, I love how everything is about you. Anyway, but
well, sometimes it's about you. Plastic surgery. But anyway.
But I have something more even ridiculous. I mean, at least she's involved with this film, so at least it's kind of, you know, believable.
Go on then.
But then there's this new film that starts shooting soon. It's called Se Shang. Now, Se Shang means lust and like sacrificing for a country.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a combination of like sci-fi, erotica. I don't know.
Erotica.
I know they're being very mysterious and they haven't released anything about the film. Anyway, so the director, we don't know anything about the film, and they just pasted Zhou Shun's name.
Well, they
Like,
just said Zhou Shun's in it, but
Zhou
she's
Shun's
not
gonna
really.
be- yeah, and so her production company said, excuse me, no, she's not. You know, what are you doing? Yeah, can you believe that? Like, how would it, I wouldn't have the guts.
Hold on. I can't believe
Well,
it.
I wouldn't have the guts to do that. You can't just make things up.
We can't just say like, oh, Real China next week, we've got Chow Yun-fat coming on the show, because it's just not true.
Exactly.
People will be disappointed. And Chow Yun-fat will be angry.
Do that and see what happens. Just unbelievable. Publicity. I mean, there's publicity, but then you can't. There's a limit, right?
There is a limit,
Yeah.
which we often cross.
So these are the two recent stories about her.
What about, does she have a boyfriend at the moment?
Relationship-wise, I mean, she's dated some like famous singer, actor Li Yapeng, Fei Wang's husband, but nothing too scandalous. You know, no photo scandal.
Well,
or anything.
boring. Anyway,
Yeah.
should we take a look? She's a singer as well.
She's a singer.
Well, I would like to see one of her songs in action, and after that we'll have the top 5.
We will.
Great stuff. Okay, see you in a bit.
最新一年间，每个生涯只凭自己笔画，走马看黄花，回首都是家。 就在那情在那甜酸苦辣都已品尝，才慢慢回答。 心意年间，每个生涯只凭自己笔画，走马看黄花，回首都是家。
Come a long way, my friend. Across oceans.
And at number 5 this week is fantasy action epic Season of the Witch. Nicolas Cage and Hellboy Ron Perlman star as two knights on a mission to vanquish a witch who may be responsible for the Black Death.
There is a whisper throughout the land that the hour of our judgment is upon us.
What madness is this?
This is a curse from hell, brought upon us by the Black Witch.
You've been found guilty of consorting with the devil.
Wait!
Do it.
I am Damon of Blybrook.
Your name has become legend. You must deliver the witch to Severac, where you will destroy the witch's powers.
Robots are no longer the talk of the town as Megatron and his Transformer buddy stumbles to number 4. Looks like Harry Potter's battle against Voldemort is a little less magical this week as he drops his wand and slips to 3rd.
Now, join me, Harry, and confront your fate.
We've kept him alive so that he can die at the proper moment.
Bring him to me.
Let's find out where he is. If we find him, we can end this. I say we jump now!
And number 2 this week is Hong Kong thriller Overheard 2. Lau Ching-wan, Louis Koo, and Daniel Wu all returned in the sequel to last year's box office success, Overheard. Although this time around, rather strangely, they're playing different characters.
我認得嗰個人。
今日收市時我要5000萬股749。我先追你個班係咪地主會啲人？
查到地主會啦，查到做唔做嘢？
Bouncing to the top of the box office tree this week is something very blue. No, it's not Avatar, it's the Smurfs. The cartoon cuties have already made close to $200 million in the US, and now they're here in China.
We're being attacked! Do not be fooled by their cuteness!
They're friendly.
That's right, you pasted giant.
The Smurfs.
Don't let little old me interrupt.
Oh.
Whoa, is there a draft in here?
Nothing like a cool breeze through my enchanted forest.
I think I just smurfed in my mouth.
So, Jen, which one is your favourite Smurf?
My favorite... I'm sorry, they all look the same to
Well,
me.
what about the Smurfette, the female one? I like her.
Of course you do.
She has the
what a
voice of
surprise.
Katy Perry. Although they didn't draw like cartoon boobs for her, which is a pity. Maybe when they do the cartoon of you, they can... It doesn't matter.
Why?
Anyway, say goodbye.
See you next week.
Bye for now.